Hey, superstar 7th graders, I want to show you real quick, make a quick video for you. Remember, on my webpage here, you actually have linked to your textbook because a lot of your review assignments for the next upcoming weeks are going to be directly out of the textbook. So if just right on this announcements page, just click Math 7. And if you notice, it goes directly to your textbook. So if you don't have it at home, you do have it online, like I've been telling you about it all year long. You're going to select the appropriate chapter. Obviously, we're going to start off with Chapter 1 for Lesson 1.1 and 1.2 real quick. So 1.1, integers and absolute values. You can just scroll down. You could zoom in as needed. So let me go ahead and practice that. And if you remember, what we were talking about with our absolute values is it is simply the distance from 0 to that given number. So that's why the absolute value of -4 is 4, is because it is 4 physical little spaces away. While the same thing for +4, it is 4 physical units or spaces away. Kind of like when you ran the mile during PE, it doesn't really matter if you ran it forward, backwards, whatever, you're still running a mile. Your distance is a positive understanding or positive thought here. So with our absolute value again, you're just trying to find some quick absolute values. When you get into your extension problems, when you're trying to compare, again, you need to go ahead and take the absolute value of -4, which is 4, and compare it to 1. So obviously you're going to be using your inequality signs to help you out. My youngest son is just learning about that. We talk about the little birdies. What would the birdie eat? 4 cherries or 1 cherry? But you know that because you are awesome students. So again, comparing it to your negatives there, and then you just get into your quick understanding for your review problems. Again, this information here. So 1.2, adding integers, subtracting integers. I've been trying to converse or trying to talk about this all year. 8th graders still struggle with this. We talked about a few different ways. One of the easiest ways that I think for me is using the number line for some students there. So you could go online and find a number line, or you could actually just use a blank piece of paper and make a number line on there. And you simply start with your first number. So for example, like on number 6 here, I would find -3 on my number line, and then +2 means I would move to the right 2 spaces and physically count them out. I've had some 8th graders who have used that with a lot of success, and it's really helped them avoid those little mistakes. 7th graders, you can do the exact same thing. So for example, like on number 10 here, you start at -6. It says plus -2. Really, you just ignore the plus sign. The -2 really means just go left 2 spaces. So a -6 and a -2 will give you a -8. So you could use your number line if you'd like there. And got the number line. If you'd like to, you could use the rules that we talked about really right here. If they're both negative, you're really just going to add them together and it's going to keep the negative sign. And again, the reason is here with your absolute values, but you use the common sign. It's really the problems that students struggle with when you have different signs. So when it's the same sign, both positive or both negative, that's when students do really well. When they are opposite signs, a little bit more difficult. Now, the greatest one, again, is this additive inverse. 6 plus -6 equals 0. That really helps us when we get to our solving equations again. But like here on -13 and plus 17, or 8 plus -2, what we tell students again is to take the difference, which really means you're going to subtract, and then you're going to take the sign with the, what does it say right there? Oh yeah, greater absolute
Subtract
value.
the lesser absolute value
that's so
from the
crazy.
greater lesser absolute value, then use the greater absolute value with the greater absolute value.
Good old technology.
With the greater absolute value.
Whew, that was a little weird. So right here, if you notice, you've got 5 plus a -10. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract, and I get a 5, because again, I'm really using the absolute values. But I take that negative sign because -10 has the greater absolute value. It says right here. -3 plus 7, I'm going to subtract to get that 4. Since the 7 has the greater absolute value, I'm going to take the positive sign, so +4. So you've got a few ways to do that for 1.1 and 1.2. Again, it's really just trying to review some of your basic skills, and hopefully this might help you.